Shalom, friends. Akiva Gersh here, and I want to share with you another fun fact about Israel. Years and years and years in a row, Israel reaches the top of the list of the happiest countries in the world. Every single year, there's a happiness study across different countries in the world to see which people living in which country are amongst the happiest in the entire world. And they use all these different factors and interviews and all kinds of things. And time after time after time, Israel ranks amongst the happiest countries in the world. Now, why is this a fun fact? Because if you look at the other countries around, a little bit above, a bit below Israel on the list, they're all places usually in Europe, in Northern Europe, specifically Sweden, Norway, or places like Switzerland, Australia, New Zealand, places far away from any, deep, fiery area of conflict in this world. And then you see Israel on the list, again, year after year. And rationally, logically speaking, it doesn't make sense because Israel is located obviously in a place of intense conflict, of ongoing conflict, seemingly never-ending conflict, right? With wars and terrorism always a part of the reality of the people living in Israel. So how could it be that Israelis are amongst the happiest people in the world? Well, it really goes to the heart and soul of who the Israeli people are and who the Jewish people are. We've been here, thank God, for a long time. We've been going for over 3,000 years, and we've had our unfair share of adversity and travesty, even disasters, and very, very dark and challenging times. And yet we're able to keep on getting up without forgetting the past, but moving on into the future and committing to keep going. Right? It's part of our DNA. It's part of our wiring. It's who we are. That we're not going to let these hard times, these disasters, these challenges stop us because we know we're here for a reason. We know we have something good to do in the world and for the world. But it's not only that. Because of that, especially modern day Israel, with so many enemies on our borders, so many different countries that have vowed to destroy us, and so many terrorist organizations who are trying. This has really forced on some level Israelis to not only survive, but to thrive. Not only survive, but to live with such zest, with such joy, with such happiness. Right? It has made Israelis, so to speak, choose a life of joy and celebration, because we know, unfortunately, that life is so fragile and it could be lost or taken away in any moment. Right? And this has really caused a culture and created a culture of people who are like, I'm going to value the time I do have. I'm going to value the time I do have with my family members. I'm going to value the time that I do have with my friends, with my community. And people take the time and they make the time to really spend time with their loved ones, with their family members, with their friends. I see it all the time. I'm originally from New York. I moved here about 20 years ago, and I saw that as one of the first differences that I saw in Israeli culture as compared to the American culture that I was brought up in. The people here really make the time, right, to sit and have a coffee, stop and have a conversation, ask people how they're doing, check in with people. It's really woven into the culture here. And it really comes from this place of like, we're here, right, for a limited time. Let's make the best of it for ourselves, for other people, and for the world. And that creates an incredible amount of joy. And that creates a happy life. That creates a meaningful life. And when you have a meaningful life, so joy naturally flows from that. Right? So despite, again, all the different challenges, all the different conflicts, all the wars that we've been in and still are in, right, Israelis have chosen and constantly continue to choose, choosing over and over again to to live a life of joy, of happiness, of meaning, and to share that with others, spread that to others. And as a result, creating a culture and a society that values those things as well. And as a result, we're very happy people. It might shock people around the world. How could it be you live with war and terrorism and shootings and all these horrible things? How could you wake up and be happy? Right? Because it's created such a deep value of life and understanding of how precious and sometimes fragile life really is. And it's incredible, I have to say for myself on a personal level, to live in this society and see how people live and see how this is the way society lives here. It's an incredible, incredible blessing to see, to be part of, to watch my children be born here and raised here and growing up in this culture, and they get it from birth, right? They understand it right away. This is really what the Israeli people are about. This is really what the Jewish people are about, right? Understanding that, yes, there is adversity, but not letting that adversity stop us, right? And again, not only surviving, but thriving. Not only surviving, but living with great joy.